you the latest news, recaps, and analysis of AEW and WWE. Get the unique perspective from a wrestling fan of over 25 years. Here's your host, Jaydee.
What's going on, guys? This is Jaydee, and this is episode 107 of the Wrestle Bread podcast. So I was supposed to be streaming this live on YouTube, and for some reason, I was just having a bunch of issues. I normally use an app to stream to YouTube because I don't have enough followers to actually do it live through YouTube. But, I don't know what happened, so I can't stream through YouTube. But it is WrestleMania week, a very exciting week for all of us wrestling fans, whether you love WWE or not. This is the week where we talk nothing but wrestling. I hope everyone has an IV in their arm because we are going to get a lot of nights of wrestling. Tonight, actually, in 30 minutes, we'll be getting the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to be watching that live because, we have 2 classes going in this year. And normally with one class, it's a lot. The only good thing is that this is, it is pre-recorded. So if someone is talking for a very long time, they probably edit it down, but I'm not like 100%, on having to watch each and every person speak. But I'll be checking a little bit of that out. It's on Peacock. Or I think it's on USA Network. I don't know. I think it's only on Peacock. So, I'll just be watching it and then skipping through everything. We also have NXT Takeover coming on tomorrow and for Thursday. Friday is going to be the SmackDown version of WrestleMania. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be having WrestleMania. Friday, I will be streaming live. It will be a birthday stream because it's your girl's birthday. I'm also going to be talking about NXT recap, and I'm going to be giving my predictions for WrestleMania. So I'm going to start streaming that hopefully at 7 o'clock this time. And yeah, if YouTube works this time. But yeah, an exciting NXT this year is going to be 2 nights, which is pretty exciting because NXT always puts on a very good show. So I definitely know that we will be talking about this NXT takeover for a while. I'm going to go into my predictions for that now. So we have 2 nights. Night 1, and I don't know the order of this, so I'm just reading this off of a list. So we have for the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. Now, I love the build up to this match. Io Shirai talking that talk in her language. Raquel Gonzalez showing how dominant she is. Now, Io Shirai has been, so dominant this past, well over a year now. And it just feels like there's nobody really to stop her. And I'm just afraid that the moment someone does stop her, that, that would be the day where she would go up to the main roster, which I definitely dread. I do not want to see her go up to the main roster because WWE does not have a very good track record with, people of Asian descent. I'm looking at Asuka especially, and at Shinsuke Nakamura, and a lot others throughout the years. Oh my gosh. Of people who had potential, definitely, but for some reason, WWE decided to just not pull the plug on it. Let me see. But as much as I would love for Raquel Gonzalez to win this, I don't know. I just feel like that she's not exactly ready to, she's not exactly ready to win the title. And I feel like this would be the right time if they are going to call up Io Shirai, which sadly we know is going to happen sooner or later, that this would be the time. But I like Raquel Gonzalez. I just don't feel that it's her time yet. But, It is NXT. They could always have Io Shirai lose the title and then either get into another feud or work her way back up to Raquel Gonzalez. I had really would have rathered for Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai to have won and kept and defended the tag team titles. I felt as though that would have built up Raquel Gonzalez a lot more than them just kind of like, because we really got to know her a lot better in the ring through the Mae Young Classic tournament. And I feel like, if we had just simply let her win the tag team championship and had her, her and Dakota successfully defend, we'd have got to know her just a little bit more. And then you could have done with the singles run. But it feels like, we are just getting her, really started. And now all of a sudden she has a title shot. And it's like, if she does lose, where does she go from here? Do her and Dakota now go after the tag team titles? Is she's going to start a more serious singles run or something like that? I don't know. But my prediction here, I feel like it can go either way. If they do decide to pull the plug on Raquel Gonzalez, I will not be upset at that. I won't be upset at all. I like Raquel Gonzalez. She has so much potential. She definitely gives me like memories of China. And I don't mean like, doing a lot of the big power moves that China did, but as far as, being that strong physique and being able to just go in the ring, she definitely has so much potential. But I just hope that NXT isn't pushing her too early. I'm going to officially go with Io Shirai. I think that it could be possible that Dakota Kai will cost Raquel Gonzalez the title, and then we can actually get a singles run from Raquel Gonzalez. That would be a very interesting thing to happen. If they really want us to get to see Raquel Gonzalez more in the singles run versus her being the tag team with Dakota Kai. And I know that Raquel had the feud with Rhea Ripley, but I felt as though it wasn't enough. Like, it was very early on that we really started to really see her in the ring because she was mainly Dakota Kai's bodyguard. But I feel like if we get a feud between Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, we could definitely see more of Raquel like now that she got a lot more experience in the ring. So I'm going to go with Io Shirai on this one. Next up, what I think is going to be one of the matches of the night. I mean, I feel like all these matches are going to be like potential match of the night. But definitely a match I'm looking forward to is for the United Kingdom Championship, Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, Walter has been so damn dominant. I didn't even know, like, I knew he had the title for a long time, but it didn't hit me that he had it for 2 damn years. I don't think Tommaso's going to win this here. I think the title is going to stay on Walter. As a Walter fan, I just want Walter to just slap the shit out of Tommaso Ciampa. But the wrestling fan in me is very excited to see the back and forth between the two wrestlers. Walter has been so dominant, but I love seeing the psycho Tommaso Ciampa that we used to see, especially from his feuds with Johnny Gargano. Maybe with him being in this tag team match, we didn't really see, I don't know, it just felt like we didn't really see him as much of a potential as he was when he was feuding against Johnny Gargano. So I'm hoping with him in the ring with Walter, he just goes, all out for it. So we're going to go with Walter to retain. Because truthfully, if Tommaso Ciampa wins this, he's going to have to go back overseas. And to be 100% honest, I don't really see that happening. Next up for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championship, we have MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. Now, of course, these titles were vacated because Danny Burch was injured, and so they had to vacate the titles. MSK is a very exciting tag team. They definitely display how great of a tag team that they are together. I love the Legado del Fantasma. I love the Grizzled Young Veterans. I think this is going to be a pretty good triple threat tag team match. I'm gonna go with the Grizzled Young Veterans. I feel as though it's definitely their time. I don't think MSK should get the titles now, and I know I voted for MSK to win before, but I don't think the Grizzled Young Veterans. I don't think MSK, sorry, should win the titles right now. I think it should go to the Grizzled Young Veterans. Um, Next up, let me see. I feel like I'm missing. I'm missing a. I think I'm missing a match listed on here. Next up, it is the 6-man gauntlet match to get the title shot on night 2 of the NXT Stand and Deliver. Actually, let me try to get a better card for, because I think we're missing. I think Grimes and isn't Grimes? No, not Grimes. Kushida and it's Kushida and Pete Dunne. I think is night 1, and I don't see that listed here, so I'm just going to get an updated list here. Yep. Okay. So yeah. So the 6-man gauntlet match, eliminator match, the winner will receive an NXT title shot on night 2. So in the order of how they're going to come in: Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. So first off, it's going to start off with Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. That's going to be a pretty good match. Between the two, I'm going to say Leon Ruff is going to win, and then he's going to go against Bronson Reed, and pray for him, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go with Bronson Reed to win this. And then after that, we're going to have Cameron Grimes. I think Cameron Grimes is going to try to offer Bronson some money or something to try to get him out of the ring. But I don't think Bronson's going to go through with it. Now the swerve here is that Cameron could actually win this just so he can have that rematch between him and Dexter Lumis. However, I think Bronson Reed is going to win this, and I think he is going to go up against Dexter Lumis. And I would love to see that matchup between Reed and Dexter Lumis, to see, the chemistry between those two, especially to see how Bronson Reed, now that he is back and like more aggressive and stuff like that, how that's going to look in the ring with Dexter Lumis. Now from there, so this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I think Dexter Lumis is going to win, because I feel as though the final match is going to be Dexter Lumis versus LA Knight. Now this is where we are a bit of between a rock and a hard place, because I feel like we're going to get a rematch of Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano. I think we're going to get Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano. And I think Dexter Lumis is going to, now I know I'm giving my prediction for the next night, but I feel like Dexter Lumis is going to win the title. I think that's what this is all for. Now the thing is though, are we going to have LA Knight lose this match? Because if this was AEW, LA Knight would have had a title shot the first night he came. Let's be honest. But with WWE, they like to do this 50-50 booking where you win, loss, win type of situation. And for as good as LA Knight is, I don't think he's going to win this, because I think this is all about the storyline between Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. And I feel like Austin Theory may get involved with night 2, or he may get involved with night 1 and help Dexter Lumis win. Because it is that bit of the storyline of that, Austin Theory is like, he feels like Dexter Lumis is a nice person. I know they were going with that. And then of course they had Johnny Gargano trick him into thinking that Dexter Lumis doesn't like him. But I'm gonna go with Dexter Lumis to win all this. I know that LA Knight should definitely win, but I don't know. NXT just put themselves in a rock and a hard place with this one, because it's either Dexter Lumis loses, And then we have a bit of a loose end with this rivalry between him and Johnny Gargano and the Gargano family. Or we have LA Knight lose. And, this is someone who is known from, NWA and everything, and definitely can cut a promo. And you're going to have him have this many losses. Now, like I always say, in WWE, wins and losses does not matter. It's about TV time and dominance. Thank you, Kita. Thank you. It's all about dominance and everything. So I'm going to go with Dexter Lumis to win the Gauntlet Eliminator match. So then we got Pete Dunne versus Kushida. This is going to be an incredible match between these two. I love Kushida. I feel like Kushida definitely needs a title sooner or later. I think he definitely needs a title sooner or later. And I think this is going to be a pretty good match. Pete Dunne, I don't know if Larkin is going to be around. We still also may have... I don't think we're going to have Pat McAfee anymore. Pat McAfee, who knows? I don't think Pat McAfee is going to show up either. So I'm going to go with Kushida on this one. I feel like Kushida needs a winning streak. And maybe this could further along, another feud, to add on another match between Pete Dunne and Kushida. Because what happens sometimes with NXT, sometimes the storylines continue, sometimes they don't. And I feel like if Kushida wins, then Kushida can definitely start to work on getting a damn title, because he definitely needs one. So that's night 1. Now we're on to night 2. And we have for the Women's Tag Team Championship, Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus The Way, which is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I feel like Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are more of a tag team than Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. And, sometimes I don't like it when WWE just put 2 singles wrestlers together and be like, hey, you guys are a tag team. Sometimes it works, like we saw with The Bar, definitely. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. And we've seen this happen quite a lot. I still don't understand why Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart are the tag team champions. I felt as though it should have been Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Because Raquel Gonzalez definitely needs more time in the ring. I love her, but I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's really time for her to really get that singles run straight to the title. I felt as though had she won the tag team titles, we could have got a little bit more of her in the ring. But I'm gonna go with The Way to win the championship. I feel Candice LeRae needs a title. Like, come on. I feel like if you give Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell the titles, you can definitely... There's a lot of different ways we can go about this. Next up, a ladder match to determine the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Championship. We have Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar. I'm going to go with Jordan here. I love Santos Escobar. And I feel like he's really good in the ring. But Jordan's good. I'm sorry to say. And I think this is going to be such a great match. I feel like it's like all these matches on NXT TakeOver are going to be great matches. And that's how it always is. There's rarely a like bad match on NXT TakeOver. It really isn't. And I feel like Raul and Joaquin is going to try to interfere in this match and try to help Santos win. But I feel like Jordan Devlin is going to, do some crazy ass spot and take those 2 out. But I feel like in the end, it's going to be Jordan that's going to win. So now we're for the NXT North American Championship, Johnny Gargano versus whoever the Gauntlet winner is, which in my pick is Dexter Lumis. And it would be very interesting if Dexter was to win the title. I am interested on what happens with that. Because an interesting thing we can do from here, we can have LA Knight interfere in this matchup, and then we'll help Dexter win the title, And then it either starts out, with a triple threat type of situation, or we'll have Johnny versus LA Knight, like they were kind of teasing, or we can have LA Knight versus Dexter Lumis. Now, Dexter Lumis could definitely go off to, another feud, truthfully, while Johnny is going after LA Knight. But I'm just going to say Dexter Lumis just for the fun of it. I'm going to say Dexter Lumis is going to win here. Now we come to the unsanctioned match, which, woo boy. I know people are like sad that the Undisputed Era is broken up, but truthfully, I love the Undisputed Era, but I was kind of looking forward to them breaking up just so we can have these type of matches. Like I always say, there are a few exceptions like the Bella Twins who are being inducted tonight. Friends and family normally have the best feuds and matches. And Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, I've heard of their feuds, when they were in Ring of Honor and stuff like that. I never seen their matches, but I know that this is going to be a good-ass match. And that promo package that they did last week was so good. Definitely one of the best promo packages I've seen for a feud in NXT. I can't wait to see this match. I would like to go with Adam Cole, but I think the way that everything is built up, I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to win this. We have Roderick Strong also, who is floating out there, and it's all a matter of who he's going to side with. If it's going to be Adam Cole, if it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly. It'll be very interesting if Bobby Fish is able to come back. I didn't get a checkup on how his condition is, so I don't know if he's like closer to being healed or not. But it'll be very interesting if Bobby Fish comes back and side with who he's going to side with. If he's going to stick with his boy Kyle, or if he's going to go with Adam Cole and just be like, yo, Kyle, it's not cool that you sat there and, tried to help out Finn Balor or whatever. And speaking of Finn Balor, so I'm going with Kyle on the unsanctioned match. It's going to be a crazy match. Who knows what the hell they're going to do to each other. But for the main event, singles match for the NXT Championship is going to be Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. TikTok, Fall and Pray. This is going to be a good match. This is going to be a good match. I know people probably wish that we had Demon Balor show up in this to see Demon Balor versus Karrion Kross, but this is still going to be a good match. I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross had the title for like a day or so, and he got injured and had to give up the title. And I would love to see what his title reign would have looked like. Finn Balor had the title for a while, and he's definitely went through, people who he could have lost the title to. But I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross has been on such a dominant streak. I don't think it's going to stop here. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross in this one. But overall, NXT Takeover, like I said, always have good NXT takeovers. So I know that this one is going to be just as good. So going into a few of the top WrestleMania matches, and I'm not going to go in order. And like I said, I cheated and took WWE's list. And WWE's list is, I agree with what they put as the top 5. I agree with it. They actually told a little bit of truth here. So the first I'm going to start off with, of course, is the match that everyone, if you want to show a match to a non-wrestling fan of why you are a wrestling fan, this is one of the matches that you will show them. And that is Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. And this is the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. By this time, the Undertaker streak was, people have come to realize that there is the streak. And Shawn Michaels is known as Mr. WrestleMania. And the moment that they decided to have this match at WrestleMania, everyone knew how good of a match it was going to be. Now, to be quite honest, overall, WrestleMania 25 wasn't really that good, if I remember correctly. But and I felt bad I forgot what match came after this match between them two. But if I'm not mistaken, this was the first time that Undertaker did the dive over the rope. And I think Shawn Michaels had the cameraman and he pulled him into the way. It might have been that or 26. But I think it was this one that he did the dive over the rope and then Shawn Michaels pulled the cameraman into the way. But the matches between here and then the Triple H matches, those 4 matches, I would have to say is like the top Undertaker matches of the streak. And it's because of the storyline that happened within these 4 matches. It was Shawn, and it all involved Shawn Michaels. It was Shawn Michaels, deciding to go after the streak, and then he couldn't defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's Mr. WrestleMania. And so he decided to take it up a notch. Streak or career. Couldn't defeat The Undertaker. His best friend, Triple H, decides, I'm going to honor my friend and go after him. Couldn't defeat The Undertaker, but he damn near took out The Undertaker. To the point that Undertaker, cut his hair, challenged Triple H again, and that was when they did the triple threat match. I think that was Hell in a Cell match too. And one of my favorite spots was when Shawn Michaels did the super kick into the pedigree and Undertaker fucking kicked out. Craziest spot ever. And of course, that's one of the spots that everyone remembers from that match. But my goodness, and it was Undertaker in prime. But that match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was just like, oh my goodness, breathtaking. And that's the match that a lot of people say is one of the best wrestling matches of all time. Next is WrestleMania 3, and I am wearing the shirt of one of the competitors. And this is Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, this is another match that if you want to show a non-wrestling fan why you're a wrestling fan, you would show them this match. This match had, oh my goodness, so much story. The match lasted for quite a while. Actually, no, it was 14 minutes, actually. Taker's and Shawn Michaels match was 30 minutes. This was during WrestleMania 3, and people remember the whole Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan match, which, truthfully, it was just that moment of him body slamming Andre the Giant. But as far as match wise, this was the match of WrestleMania 3. And I'll be 100% honest, I didn't watch this match until probably like a few years ago. When I was going through past WrestleManias, I just decided to watch past WrestleManias. And I always heard about this match, and I never got a chance to really sit down and watch it. Now, when I sat down and watched it, it was just like breathtaking. Macho Man is really good, but Ricky, I'm getting tongue tied here. But this match with Macho Man and the Steamboat was just so good. It was breathtaking. It was a lot of story that was being involved here as well. Now I forgot the lead up to it, and I tried to watch this on Peacock, so just a little heads up to everyone out there. I guess you have to pay for a higher premium service, because you got to pay premium just to get the WWE Network. And so I tried to watch this match a little earlier today, and there's fucking ads. And I think there's an ad in the middle of this match, which is like, your eyes get big with that one. The third match I'm going to talk about, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the submission match at WrestleMania 13. This was Ken Shamrock as the referee. This match is one of the best examples, and I think this is the first time we had a double turn. I think it's the first time we had a true double turn, where the face became the heel and the heel became face. And truthfully, I would say this is what started WWE to have a superstar for the Attitude Era. Because you can have, you can try to do Attitude Era and stuff like that, but if you don't have someone who's the focal point, who, when you think of Attitude Era, that's who you think about. If it wasn't for this match, truthfully, I think WWE would have never been able to have an Attitude Era. Because WWE always had the face and the heels type of situation. And there wasn't really a time where a whole crowd booed a face and cheered for the heel. And I could be wrong, but like really thinking I'm ahead, like there are fans who like the heels, but as far as like universally turned a heel into a face, this is one of the matches that I think about. And you have to have your respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin was busted open during the match. And one of the scenes that you will always remember is Bret Hart putting Stone Cold Steve Austin into the sharpshooter. And you see Stone Cold like trying to power out of it. And he does like the push up. And you see the blood just like come down his face. It's just like, it's a very, I don't want to say beautiful, but it's a very beautiful story that was told with that moment. Someone who you're supposed to boo and cheer for, and you see how much fight that he has in him. It's just like, yo, why am I booing this guy? Like, he's in here putting in like so much fight. And I forgot if, it was purposely done to make Stone Cold turn into a face. I kind of doubt it, because Bret Hart was kind of like the it person during this period of time. But watching that match in the end, you definitely get respect from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was a Bret Hart fan too. Like, I wasn't the biggest Bret Hart fan. Like, I wasn't wearing the glasses, stuff like that, but I had respect for Bret Hart. But yeah, those 3 matches, Stone Cold lost because he passed out from losing so much blood. But in the end, like, you had his respect. You might hear the ice cream truck in the background. It's like, it is 8 o'clock dark outside, and the ice cream truck's coming around. I got some ice cream from the ice cream truck, and I feel like I got overcharged because I brought like 3 things, and it came up to like damn near $12. And so I don't understand it at all. I think he was just trying to recap money, from Corona. And, there were no prices on the ice cream truck. So, something should have told me there. And so it's not like I could have said no, because my kids done ran in the house with the ice cream and I'm standing there with my ice cream. And I just had to say, you know what, fine. And I went and paid for it. But yeah, the sounds of a childhood there. So as I have put on YouTube, Twitter and all over, it is the 2-year anniversary of the WrestleBread podcast. I can't believe it's been 2 years. We recently celebrated episode 100 about less than 2 months ago. And, it's just been such a fun time meeting a lot of, cool podcasters, listening and interacting with a lot of people. I love it. Like I said in episode 100, like, we don't get paid for this. I highly doubt I'll ever get picked up by WWE. There may have been a WWE insider listening in because I suggested something that happened to WWE and then it happened. But us podcasters, like I said, we do this because we like the sport. Was Raw, pretty bad last Monday? Yes. I only watched the first hour of it. I was sitting there cracking up at it. Am I going to watch next Monday Night Raw? Yes. First of all, it's the Raw after Mania, even though there probably won't be any fans there, but still. Am I going to check out all that's happening this week and next week? Yeah. Did I have the thought of going all the way to Florida for WrestleMania? Somewhat. There was a thought in there. But yeah, it's been very cool, to talk about wrestling to people who like to talk about wrestling. And, especially with WWE and AEW and things like that. And for the past 2 years, it has been such a cool ride, I would have to say. Um, just going over, I watch wrestling from a different perspective now. Normally, I watch wrestling, I'm just watching it, just enjoying it and things like that. But now, when I watch it, I'm watching it to kind of like analyze it. And the ice cream truck's coming down my block now, so you're going to hear it really loud in a moment. Um, but yeah, now I watch it to kind of like analyze it and let me let it pass. There it goes. He's driving a little bit faster. Not a lot of people are outside today. I mean, it's night. I'm in Philly. We're in that weird period of spring in Philly, and on the East Coast where it gets very cold in the morning and then it gets very warm. So it was like in the 40s and then it went up to damn near 70 degrees today. But now it's dark and I don't know where the temperature went down to, but it's going to go up and down. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain Thursday or something like that. And so we have the door open because for some reason we live in an old house and it's normally cooler. It's always colder in the house than it is outside. So we had the door open to kind of get a little bit of warm air flowing through. But like I was saying, the past 2 years, now that I watch wrestling as a podcaster, I kind of like watch it and analyze it. And I'd be like, oh, maybe they should have done it this way or should have done it that way. And not really that there's like an obligation that I have to watch everything because, like I said, I only watch the first hour of Raw. Sometimes I'll catch Raw and I'll catch SmackDown on Hulu. Friday nights is family movie night, or not really movie night, but sometimes me and my son will watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier and things like that. Or we'll catch a movie or something, or we'll play like video games together. But yeah, for the past 2 years, it has been a blast. And whether you interact with me on Twitter or Instagram, if you're a podcaster who I network with, if you're a podcaster whose show I've been on, or if you're just listening at home, thank you. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see what the next year brings. And it's unique because I'm a solo podcaster. So like I say, I don't have someone to really bounce off. I have to like write things down so I don't forget anything. And I have to like make sure all my technical equipment is connected and I don't have technical difficulties like I keep finding out when I go to stream or record and stuff like that. Now the ice cream truck's my background music, which is funny. I think someone stopped them at the end of the block, but it's been great. And like I said in episode 100, thank you so much for everything. I've been hitting like over 600 listeners in a month, and sometimes it's just like it's like unreal that there are 600 times someone listened to me. Whether it may be one person listening to all the episodes 600 times or what, but it's incredible. And whatever you want the episodes to be, this is your podcast. Even though I'm by myself, this is our podcast. I'll say that this is our podcast. Whatever you want me to talk about. There was someone who suggested I start talking about NXT, and so I started talking about NXT a little more. I put out polls of what to talk about. I put out a poll a while ago about what type of WrestleMania matches to talk about, and you guys said the best WrestleMania matches. And there'll be more time to come. Like, I don't know if I'll be, inviting guests and stuff like that soon. Because I do stream live on Mixler like I am right now. But I don't know if I'll be streaming the episodes live like from now on. So especially since soon I'll be going back to an office. I'm supposed to go back to working in the office for my day job towards the end of the year. So I don't know if I'll be, just streaming, because there'll be some times where I might get home a little later. But, it's been crazy. But I appreciate everything that you guys do. It's such a great honor to spend this time just talking to you guys, and the ups and downs of wrestling. And yes, there'll be times where WWE just makes us upset, because that's what it is. And there'll be times where I'll roll my eyes at AEW, because that's what happens sometimes. But for all that happens, there's always that little moment, and it's something that brings us back to why we watch it. And those 3 WrestleMania matches is what definitely those moments. And we're going to have a moment again this WrestleMania. We just don't know what moment it will be, but there'll be a moment this week, especially with NXT Takeover happening in 2 nights, that it'll bring us back to why we're a wrestling fan. Quick story, I forgot to mention this, because talking with Stone Cold, I tweeted out a picture earlier today with the picture that I took with Stone Cold, and I wish I had the picture. But I have to dig through the box. So my mom gave me a box of old photos earlier this week for an early birthday gift. My grandma, who passed away almost 2 years ago now, she had a lot of photos, and a lot of old photos. And so my mom went through a lot of photos and decided to give me some photos. And these are photos I haven't seen in years. And I remembered I had a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I knew it was at my mom's house somewhere, but I just didn't know where. So I have it. And go hop on Twitter at Jaydee Talks. You'll see the picture there. And this was back in the year 2000. Me and my family, we was on our way going to Disney from the Philly airport, and we were walking over to the ticket counter, and I saw this bald guy with sunglasses on. And I was a very big wrestling fan. So I'm looking, and I'm like, that looks like Stone Cold. And so, this is the first time that I really met a wrestler close enough to say hi and take pictures and stuff. So I was really hyped. And I was telling my mom. And so she let me go over. And so I was like, are you Stone Cold? And he said yes. And he allowed me to take a picture, and I got his autograph and everything. And so, like I said, this is before September 11th. So my cousins, because I was going to Disney with my mom, my cousins, my nephews, and my sister. And my older cousin, found the plane that they were on, and he ran onto the plane. Like I said, it's pre-September 11th, and back then we were able to kind of do a lot of things. I don't know if he convinced the staff that that for him to get on the plane, but he was able to get on the plane, and he saw The Rock, he saw The Undertaker, and I forgot who else he said he saw. I was instantly jealous, because I was like, yo, I want to get on the plane and see The Rock and The Undertaker, but my mom wouldn't let me. So all I got is the picture of what I have of Stone Cold, and I have his autograph somewhere. I have to look for that. I think I have it in a box of old things. I know I have the autograph because I saw it within the past 2 years, so it exists. But it was just very cool. As far as meeting Stone Cold, in his prime. So, but that's all that's going to be for the WrestleBread podcast for episode 107. Thank you so much for listening. Like I said, give some shout outs. So definitely shout out to Keita and Jay from the Keita and Jay show. I was on their roundtable for WrestleMania, last week. She asked some great questions about WrestleMania, some that I had to really sit there and think about. So definitely check them out. They also did a couple of other roundtables as well for WrestleMania, so definitely check them out. Shout out to Julie and Rob Bass from the Wrestling Court Podcast on TurnedMinds.com. Let me pull up my list. Shout out to Straight Talk Wrestling Podcast. He does a lot of great interviews. He's very good at interviewing. The journalist in me just love it when someone can do like very good interviews. And he actually interviewed, I don't know if I mentioned this, he actually interviewed the daughter of the British Bulldog, who of course is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, probably as we speak. And that was a great interview. So definitely check him out. Check out Chris from We Talk Next podcast, which is featured on the Keita and Jay show. Check out Devin Hafiz from Clark Street Wrestling. They do interview Fridays, and they're pretty funny as well. So be sure to check them out. Nando and Larry from Half K podcast. If you haven't seen the earlier NXT episodes, definitely check them out. They go through the past NXT episodes each week, and very, very informative. Because back then I wasn't watching NXT. I actually started watching NXT probably in like 2015, 2016 range. It was definitely after it started appearing on the WWE Network. And I wasn't really watching NXT like that because I felt as though, you know, you hear the word developmental and you don't really think that it would be any good. Until I was told, who told me? I think it was Julian and Rob Bass who told me to check out NXT. And I started to check it out, and it was really good. Shout out to Dirty Hills podcast. They're hilarious. They're on YouTube as well. And there's a lot of other podcasts out there as well. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions for NXT Takeover. I will be live again on Friday, probably same time, 7 o'clock, for a birthday stream to recap NXT Takeover and to give predictions for WrestleMania as well. But try to finish before SmackDown starts, because it's supposed to be a special episode of SmackDown with the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial Battle Royale. So we'll see what goes on with that. And then I'll be back to the regularly scheduled program. Maybe I don't know. I might have to do another stream on Tuesday. I might have to release another episode on Tuesday, because WrestleMania is going to be a lot with 2 nights. It's going to be a lot to try to do that and then recap Raw after Mania, and then with NXT starting on Tuesday, and AEW on Wednesdays. The quote-unquote Wednesday Night Wars is over, which I keep saying is not a war because neither show has really hit 1 million consistently. It's just, 2 shows kind of fighting for scraps. However, it's a lot easier now for people like me who like both companies, who like to watch NXT and AEW, to actually give 100% full attention to each show. So be on the lookout. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Jaydee Talks. That's JAYD Talks. Follow the podcast as well at WrestleBread on Twitter. You can also find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, because I'm doing Facebook Live, YouTube as well, and that's it. And happy WrestleMania week to everyone. And thank you so much for listening. Like I keep saying, this is probably like the 5th time I said it. And until next time, guys, peace.